The thing about cooking for someone who's dying is that it becomes less about nutrition and more about love. Every meal is a memory, every bite a moment of comfort in the face of inevitable loss. My name is Sophia Chen. I'm 27, I'm a private chef, and I specialize in cooking for people at the end of their lives. Hospice care, terminal illness, those final weeks or months when food is one of the last pleasures left. It's heartbreaking work, but it's also the most meaningful thing I've ever done. The request came through my website on a Monday morning. Need private chef for mother in home hospice care. Cancer stage 4 weeks left. She loves Italian food. Money is no object. Can you help? I'd learned not to ask too many questions up front. The families who hired me were usually desperate, grieving, grasping at anything that might bring comfort. So I just replied, yes. When can I start? The address was in the city's most exclusive neighborhood, the kind of place with security gates and houses that cost more than I'd make in 10 lifetimes. I'd cooked for wealthy families before, but this was different. This felt significant. A housekeeper answered the door, older woman, kind face, tired eyes. You must be Sophia. I'm Maria. Mrs. Moretti is in the sunroom. She's having a good day today, which means she might actually eat something. Mrs. Moretti. Italian. Born in Sicily, came here as a young bride. She's been asking for her mother's recipes, the food from her childhood, but she can't keep much down anymore. We're hoping you can make something that appeals to her. Maria's voice broke slightly. She doesn't have long. We just want her comfortable. The sunroom was beautiful, floor-to-ceiling windows, comfortable furniture, flowers everywhere. And in a hospital bed positioned to catch the afternoon light was a woman who'd clearly once been beautiful. Now she was frail, skin nearly translucent, but her eyes were bright when she looked at me. You're the chef? The one who cooks for dying people. Her voice was weak but had a slight accent, musical. I'm Sophia. And yes, I cook for people who deserve to enjoy food, even at the end. What sounds good to you today, Mrs. Moretti? Rosa. Call me Rosa. Mrs. Moretti makes me feel old. A slight smile. Though I suppose at 72 with stage 4 cancer, old is accurate. Rosa, then. Tell me about the food you loved growing up. What did your mother make that brings back good memories? Her face transformed, still sick, still dying, but lit with joy. Arancini. Little rice balls fried golden with ragu inside. And pasta alla norma. And cannoli, but only if the ricotta is fresh and the shells are crispy. And she stopped, breathing hard. I'm sorry. I get excited talking about food, but my body doesn't cooperate anymore. Don't apologize. Food is memory, family, love. It's worth getting excited about. I pulled out my notebook. I'll make you arancini today. Small ones, so they're not overwhelming. If you can eat one, wonderful. If not, at least your house will smell like your mother's kitchen. Sometimes that's comfort enough. You understand. Most people just try to force food down my throat like I'm a child. You understand. She reached for my hand. Thank you, Sophia, for seeing me as a person, not just a dying patient. I spent the afternoon in Rosa's kitchen making arancini from scratch. The act of cooking in someone else's home always felt intimate, learning where they kept things, understanding their organization, breathing their air. This kitchen was well used, loved, clearly the heart of the house. You're the chef. The voice behind me was male, deep, with the same slight accent Rosa had. I turned to find a man in the doorway, late 30s maybe, tall and powerfully built, with dark hair and eyes that looked exhausted. And tattoos, I could see them at his wrists, disappearing under his sleeves. I'm Sophia. You must be Rosa's son. Luca. I'm her eldest. He moved into the kitchen, drawn by the smell of cooking. Is that arancini? Your mother requested them. They should be ready in about 10 minutes. I shaped another rice ball. Do you want one? I always make extra. I haven't had arancini since, he stopped. Since before she got sick. She used to make them for Sunday dinners. The whole family would come and there would be so much food, so much noise, so much life. And now there's just quiet and waiting for the end. Yes. He leaned against the counter, watching me work. Sophia, can I ask you something? Why do you do this? Cook for dying people? It must be depressing as hell. It's the opposite of depressing. It's the most life-affirming work I've ever done. I started frying the arancini. Food is how we show love, how we comfort, how we connect. The end of life, when everything else is taken away, food can still bring joy. Sometimes the last good day someone has involves a meal that reminds them of being young and healthy and surrounded by family. I get to give them that. How is that depressing? He was quiet for a long moment. My mother is dying. Weeks, maybe days. And I can't do anything except watch and wait and try not to fall apart in front of her. But you can give her one more moment of joy. One more memory of her mother's kitchen. That's not nothing, Sophia. That's everything. The first batch of arancini finished, and I plated 3, one for Rosa, one for Luca, one for Maria. Try one. Tell me if it's right. Luca took a bite, and I watched his eyes close. This tastes like childhood. Like Sunday dinners and my grandmother's laugh and everything good that's gone now. How did you? I listened. Your mother told me what she remembered, and I translated that into food. It's what I do. He finished the arancini in silence, and I saw him wipe his eyes. Men who looked like Luca, dangerous, powerful, controlled, didn't cry easily. But grief had a way of breaking everyone eventually. We brought Rosa her arancini together, and watching her take that first bite, seeing her face light up with recognition and joy, made every difficult moment of this job worth it. It tastes like home, she whispered. Like Mama's kitchen. Like being 7 years old and stealing them when they were too hot and burning my tongue and not caring because they were so good. She looked at me with tears streaming down her face. Thank you, Sophia. For giving me this. For making me remember when I was whole. You're still whole, Rosa. Just in different ways now. I squeezed her hand. I'll come back tomorrow. What should we make next? Pasta alla norma. With fresh ricotta salata and basil from the garden. And Sophia? Don't just make it for me. Make enough for Luca. He's been so busy taking care of me that he's forgotten to eat properly. Someone needs to feed him. After Rosa fell asleep, Luca walked me to my car. The sun was setting and the evening air was cool. Thank you, he said quietly. For today. For understanding what she needed. For his voice broke. For making her smile. She hasn't smiled like that in weeks. Food is powerful medicine. Not the kind that cures, but the kind that comforts. I'll be back tomorrow. I unlocked my car. And Luca? Your mother's right. You need to eat too. When I come tomorrow, I'm making enough for everyone. You can't take care of her if you're not taking care of yourself. You sound like her. Bossy. Always trying to feed people. But he was almost smiling. Feeding people is love. Your mother knows that. That's why she's worried about you. I drove home thinking about Rosa and Luca, about grief and food and the way meals could bring comfort when nothing else could. This job would probably last a few weeks at most. Terminal cancer moved fast. But in those weeks, I give Rosa every good meal, every happy memory, every moment of joy that food could provide. It's what I did. It's who I was. The chef who cooked for dying people and somehow found life in the midst of death. 3 days later, Rosa and I had fallen into a routine. I'd arrive mid-morning, we'd talk about what sounded good, and I'd cook while she told me stories. Stories about Sicily, about coming to America, about raising 4 sons and building a life in this strange new country. Luca was my first, she said while I made her pasta alla norma. Born when I was barely 20. His father, my husband, was already deep in family business. Dangerous business. But Luca, even as a baby, he was strong. Determined. He became the man of the house almost before he was a man. What kind of business? I asked, though I suspected I knew. The kind where we don't ask too many questions. The kind that keeps food on the table and enemies at bay. She watched me carefully. Does that bother you, Sophia? Knowing you're cooking in a house with that kind of history? I'm cooking for you, not for the history. And Rosa, I grew up in Chinatown. My parents ran a restaurant. I know all about businesses that operate in gray areas. It doesn't shock me. Good. 'Cause Luca, he's going to want you to keep cooking. Even after I'm gone. And Sophia, you should say yes. Rosa, I'm dying. We both know it. But Luca, he's been alone since his wife died 5 years ago. Works too much, eats too little, forgets to live. He needs someone to remind him that life is more than just business and obligation. You could be that person. I'm just the chef you hired to cook your final meals. You're more than that. I see how you are together. How he watches you cook, how he listens when you talk, how he started eating properly again because you make enough food for him too. Sophia, I know my son. I know when he's interested in someone. And he's interested in you. He's grieving. I'm convenient. That's not interest, Rosa. It's the beginning of something. If you let it be. She reached for my hand. Promise me something. When I'm gone, when Luca asks you to keep cooking for him and he will ask, say yes. Give him a chance. Give yourself a chance. Life is too short not to take risks on people worth knowing. I promise. But Rosa, you're not gone yet. So let's focus on today. Pasta alla norma, fresh bread, maybe some of that basil gelato you mentioned yesterday? You're going to make me fat before I die. I'm going to make you happy before you die. There's a difference. We laughed together, and for a moment she wasn't dying and I wasn't the chef hired for end-of-life care. We were just two women sharing food and stories and finding joy in simple moments. That's what cooking did. Made everything else, death, grief, fear, fade into the background. For a little while there was just food and connection and life. Even at the end, there was still life. Week 2, Rosa was fading. The good days were fewer, the pain harder to manage. But we still cooked, or rather, I cooked while she directed from her bed, which had been moved to the kitchen so she could watch. More garlic, Sophia. Italians are never afraid of garlic. Yes, ma'am. I smiled, adding another clove to the sauce. What else? Fresh basil, torn not cut. Cutting bruises it, makes it bitter. And the pasta, it should be al dente. Just before it's fully cooked. Americans always overcook pasta. I'm American, you know. You're Chinese American who learned to cook Italian food. You get a pass. She watched me work with obvious pleasure. You have good hands, Sophia. Chef's hands. My mother had hands like that. Could turn nothing into a feast. Luca appeared in the doorway. He did that a lot now, appearing whenever I was cooking, watching quietly. Mama, you should rest. The nurse said. The nurse can mind her business. I'm dying, Luca, not dead. I can watch Sophia cook. But her voice was weaker today, her breathing more labored. Sit with me. Tell Sophia about Sunday dinners when you were young. He settled into the chair beside her bed, and I noticed how gentle he was with her. This man who looked like he could break someone in half was infinitely tender with his dying mother. Sunday dinners were everything, he started, his eyes distant with memory. The whole family would come. My brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins. Mama would cook for days, pasta, meat, vegetables, bread, dessert. The table would be so full you could barely see the tablecloth. And the noise. Rosa laughed, then coughed. Everyone talking at once, arguing about politics and sports and who made the best cannoli. Your father would sit at the head of the table and pretend to be annoyed, but he loved it. Loved being surrounded by family. I miss those dinners, Lucas said quietly. Everything feels so quiet now. Then bring them back. Rosa looked at him seriously. After I'm gone, continue the tradition. Every Sunday, family dinner. Get Sophia to cook. She knows the recipes now. Fill the house with noise and food and life again. Promise me, Luca. Mama, promise me. I don't want my death to be the death of our family traditions. I want you to keep living, keep gathering, keep feeding people. That's what family does. We eat together. I promise. His voice was rough with emotion. Sunday dinners. I'll bring them back. Rosa turned to me. And you, Sophia? You'll cook for them? For my family? They need someone who understands that food is love, that meals are sacred, that breaking bread together is how we stay human. Rosa, I don't know if that's appropriate. I'm just your family now. I'm making you family. And family cooks for family. She was getting agitated, her breathing worse. Promise me, Sophia. Promise you'll cook for my son, for my family. Promise you'll keep the tradition alive. I promise. I'll cook for them. For as long as they want me to. I moved to her bedside, taking her hand. But Rosa, you need to rest now. The sauce needs to simmer anyway. I'll wake you when it's ready. I'm so tired, Sophia. So tired of fighting. Tears ran down her face. But I'm not ready to leave him. He's my baby. My firstborn. How do I leave him? You don't leave him. Luca's voice was breaking. You just go ahead. Wait for us. We'll catch up eventually. And until then, we'll keep living the way you taught us. With family, with food, with love. You're not leaving me, Mama. You're just changing addresses. Such a good boy. Such a good man. She touched his face. Take care of Sophia. She's special. Don't let her get away. I won't. He looked at me over his mother's head, and something passed between us. Understanding, promise, the beginning of something neither of us was ready to name. Rosa fell asleep, and Luca and I moved to the kitchen to finish the sauce in silence. Working together felt natural. Him stirring while I prepped vegetables, moving around each other with the ease of people who'd cooked together for years instead of days. She's getting worse, he said finally. The hospice nurse says maybe a week. Maybe less. I know. I can see it. I chopped basil carefully. Luca, I've done this enough times to recognize the signs. Her body's shutting down. But her spirit, that's still strong. She's holding on for you. She shouldn't have to hold on. She should be able to let go, to be free of pain. But I'm not ready. I'm 38 years old and I'm not ready to lose my mother. He stopped stirring, gripping the counter. How do I do this, Sophia? How do I let her go? You tell her it's okay. You tell her you'll be fine, that you'll take care of the family, that you'll keep the traditions alive. You give her permission to rest. I moved beside him, close enough to offer comfort. And then you grieve. You eat the food she loved, you tell the stories she told, you live the life she wanted you to live. That's how you let her go, by promising to keep living. Will you help me? With the funeral, with the family dinners, he turned to face me fully. With remembering how to live? 'Cause Sophia, I've forgotten. The work and obligation and survival, that's all I've been doing. Mama's right. I need someone to remind me there's more to life than just getting through it. I'll help. For as long as you need me to. I'm going to need you for a long time. His hand found mine on the counter. Is that okay? Can you stay that long? Yes, I can stay. We finished cooking together, and when Rose awoke, we all ate together. Small portions for her, larger for us, but all from the same pot, the same sauce, the same tradition. Breaking bread as family, even though I'd only known them for 2 weeks. That's what food did. It made strangers into family, made houses into homes, made ordinary moments sacred. Week 3, the end. Rosa died on a Tuesday morning peacefully with all 4 of her sons at her bedside. I wasn't there, I wasn't family in that official way, but Luca called me within an hour. She's gone. Peacefully, like falling asleep. Can you, his voice broke. Can you come? We need to plan the funeral and Mama wanted you involved. Said you'd know what food to serve. I arrived to organized chaos. 4 grown men trying to manage grief, phone calls, arrangements, family members arriving. Maria was trying to coordinate everything, but she looked overwhelmed. Sophia, thank God. She pulled me aside. I need help with the funeral reception. Rosa left instructions, very specific instructions, about the food. Can you handle the catering? Of course. Show me what she wanted. Rosa's instructions were detailed. Traditional Italian funeral foods, recipes from her mother and grandmother, enough to feed 100 people. And a note at the bottom, have Sophia make it. She understands. She'll make it with love and people will taste that love. That's my final gift to them, a meal made with love. I spent the next 3 days cooking. My small catering business handled the logistics, but I personally made everything Rosa had specified. Arancini, pasta alla norma, braciole, roasted vegetables, bread, and cannoli. Each dish a memory, each bite a tribute to the woman who taught me more about food and family in 3 weeks than I'd learned in years. The funeral was beautiful. Standing room only, people from all walks of life. Family, friends, and others who looked like they operated in the same gray areas Luca did. But everyone was there to honor Rosa, to celebrate her life, to say goodbye to a woman who'd clearly been beloved, and afterward at the reception I watched people eat the food I'd made. Watched them taste memories, share stories, laugh through tears. This was what Rosa had wanted. Not sad silence but celebration. Not grief alone but grief shared over good food. Sophia. Luca found me in the kitchen where I was replenishing platters. Come out. You should be with the guests, not hiding in here. I'm not hiding. I'm working. You're done working. Come eat with us. As family. Mama would want that. He took my hand. Please. I need you out there. He stopped. I need you. So I went. Sat with Luca's brothers and their families, ate the food I'd made, listened to stories about Rosa. And slowly I became part of the narrative, the chef who made Mama smile at the end, the one who cooked her final meals, the woman Mama adopted in her last weeks. Sophia, this food. One of Luca's brothers, Marco I think, gestured with his fork. It tastes like Mama's cooking. How did you do that? You only knew her a few weeks. She taught me. Told me stories while I cooked, corrected my techniques, shared her secrets. She wanted the food to be right, to honor the tradition. So I listened. She chose well. The brother raised his glass. To Sophia, who gave our mother joy at the end, who made her smile, who remembered. Thank you. The whole room raised their glasses and I fought back tears. This was what cooking for dying people gave me. Not just the satisfaction of bringing comfort, but the honor of becoming part of their story. Even briefly later, after most guests had left and I was cleaning up, Luca found me again. Leave it. The staff will handle cleanup. He leaned against the counter. Sophia, I need to ask you something. About Sunday dinners. Your mother made me promise I'd cook for them. She made me promise I'd continue them. So I'm asking, will you? Be my chef for Sunday dinners? Cook for my family, teach us how to maintain the traditions Mama loved? I'll pay you, obviously. Whatever your rate is. Luca, you can't afford my rate for weekly dinners. Try me. Money isn't an issue. I need this, Sophia. Need something to look forward to, something that keeps Mama's memory alive, something that forces me to gather family instead of just surviving alone. Can you do that? Will you do that? I should have said no. Should have recognized that this was grief talking, that once he healed he wouldn't need a chef cooking weekly family dinners. Should have maintained professional boundaries, but I looked at this man who just lost his mother and was desperately trying to honor her final wishes, and I couldn't refuse. Yes, I'll cook Sunday dinners. For as long as you want them. I met his eyes. But Luca, this isn't about money or professional services. Your mother made me family. Family cooks for family. So I'll charge you for ingredients and staff, but my time is free. That's my gift to Rosa. Keeping her traditions alive. Sophia, don't argue. I'm Italian trained enough to be stubborn about food and family. You'll lose this fight. He laughed, actually laughed for the first time since his mother died. You sound like her. Stubborn, bossy, always trying to feed people. I'll take that as a compliment. When do you want to start Sunday dinners? This week. This Sunday. Before the family forgets how to gather, before I forget how to live. He moved closer. Thank you, Sophia. For everything. For making Mama's last weeks happy. For being here today. For agreeing to continue the tradition. Thank you. You're welcome. Now go be with your brothers. I'll finish here and see you Sunday. I drove home emotionally exhausted but strangely content. Rosa was gone, but her legacy would continue. Through food, through family, through Sunday dinners that would keep her memory alive, and through whatever was growing between Luca and me, something that started with his dying mother and was becoming something more with every meal, every conversation, every moment we spent together, something that tasted like possibility, like home, like love. Month 2 Sunday dinners begin. The first Sunday dinner after Rosa's funeral was tense. Everyone showed up, Luca's 3 brothers with their families, a few cousins, Maria, but the grief was still fresh, the absence still raw. Mama always sat here, Marco gestured to the empty chair at the head of the table. Should we leave it empty? Luca said firmly. For today at least. She's still here in spirit. Let her have her place. I'd spend all day cooking, Rosa's favorite dishes, recipes she'd taught me, flavors that would remind everyone of her. Pasta al forno, chicken cacciatore, roasted vegetables with herbs from her garden, bread that smelled like Sunday mornings. Sophia, this smells incredible, Angelo, the youngest brother, said as I brought out platters. But I have to ask, why are you doing this? You barely knew Mama. Why continue this tradition? Because she asked me to. Because she believed food and family mattered. Because I set down the pasta carefully, because she made me promise. And you don't break promises to dying women, especially dying Italian women. They have ways of haunting you if you do. Everyone laughed, and the tension broke slightly. We sat, we passed food family style, we ate in the slightly awkward way people do when trying to maintain traditions after loss. Tastes like her cooking, Marco said quietly. Sophia, how? She taught me. Every day for 3 weeks, she taught me her techniques, her secrets, her recipes. She wanted the tradition to continue authentically. So I listened, I learned, I remembered. This is her food just cooked by my hands. To Mama, Luca raised his glass. For teaching us that family gathers, that meals matter, that love is expressed through feeding people. And to Sophia, for honoring her by keeping this tradition alive. To Mama. To Sophia. We drank, we ate, and slowly the conversation flowed more naturally. Children started chattering, adults shared stories about Rosa, laughter mixed with tears. This was what Sunday dinners were supposed to be. Messy, loud, full of life and love and family. After dinner, after everyone had left and I was cleaning up, Luca appeared in the kitchen. You don't have to clean. Staff will handle it. I'm a chef. We clean our own kitchens. It's part of the ritual. I scrubbed a pot. Besides, it helps me process the evening. Figure out what worked, what needs adjusting for next time. There will be a next time? Every Sunday. For as long as you want them. That's what I promised your mother. I rinsed the pot. Today was good, Luca. Hard but good. The family came together. That's what Rosa wanted. She'd be proud. Of you, of me for actually following through, of everyone for showing up despite the grief. He moved beside me, taking over drying dishes. Sophia, can I ask you something personal? You can ask. I might not answer. Why do you do this? Cook for dying people, attend funerals, commit to Sunday dinners with grieving families? Most people would find this job too depressing, too emotionally draining. But you seem to thrive on it. Why? I was quiet for a long moment, choosing my words carefully. My grandmother died when I was 16. Lung cancer. In the last months of her life, she couldn't eat much of anything. Everything hurt, everything tasted wrong. Except for one dish. Congee. Simple rice porridge that I learned to make exactly how she liked it. For those last weeks, I'd make it every day and she'd eat a few bites and we'd talk. About her childhood in China, about coming to America, about all the recipes she wanted to pass down. She died before teaching me most of them. But those weeks of making congee, of sitting with her while she ate, of connecting through food, they were the most meaningful weeks of my life. After she died, I knew what I wanted to do. Give other people that same gift. Those same moments. Help families connect through food, even at the end. I'm sorry. About your grandmother. About the recipes you lost. Me too. But I found new recipes through Rosa. New stories, new traditions. That's the beautiful thing about cooking for dying people. They're so generous with their knowledge because they know they're running out of time to share it. Your mother gave me more in 3 weeks than some people give in years. I'm grateful for that. She loved you. In those last weeks, she talked about you constantly. Sophia understands, she'd say. Sophia sees me as a person, not just a patient. Sophia makes me remember being young and whole. You gave her that gift, Sophia. You gave her dignity and joy and purpose when most of her life had been taken away. That matters more than you know. It mattered to me, too. She was special. Wise, funny, fiercely loving. I'm honored I got to know her, even briefly. I handed him the last pot to dry. Luca, I need to tell you something. About Sunday dinners. What about them? I'm getting attached. To your family, to this tradition, to... I stopped, not quite ready to finish that thought. To all of this. And that's dangerous. Because eventually you won't need me anymore. You'll heal, you'll move on, you'll hire a regular chef or learn to cook these dishes yourself. And I'll have to leave. I'm not good at leaving things I'm attached to. Then don't leave. He set down the dish towel, turning to face me fully. Sophia, Mama was right. About you being special. About me needing you. These past weeks, having you here, having someone who understands grief and food and family, it's been the only thing keeping me sane. So don't leave. Keep cooking Sunday dinners. Keep being part of this family. Keep, he moved closer. Keep being in my life. Please. Luca, you're grieving. You're looking for comfort, for distraction, for anything that feels like it did before your mother died. I'm convenient. I'm here. I'm associated with her memory. But that's not a reason to keep me around permanently. You're right. Grief is part of it. But Sophia, it's not all of it. I'm drawn to you. Have been since that first day when you made arancini and understood exactly what Mama needed. You're talented, compassionate, strong enough to handle my world, and somehow you make everything feel less heavy. That's not grief talking. That's me recognizing something real. Something real. I tested the words. Luca, I need you to understand, I can't be a temporary comfort. I've had too many temporary situations in my life. If I stay, if I keep cooking for your family, if I let whatever this is between us develop, it has to be real. Permanent. Not just until you heal and don't need me anymore. I'm always going to need you. Grief doesn't change that. Time won't change that. You've become essential, Sophia. To me, to my family, to maintaining the connection to my mother. Say, please. As my chef, as my friend, as, he paused, as whatever you're willing to be. Just stay. I should have said no. Should have maintained boundaries, protected my heart, recognized the danger of getting involved with a grieving man who probably didn't know what he wanted, but I looked at Luca Moretti. Dangerous, powerful, completely undone by loss and trying desperately to honor his mother by keeping her traditions alive, and I couldn't refuse. Okay. I'll stay. I'll keep cooking Sunday dinners. I'll be part of this family. And Luca, I'll give whatever this is between us a chance. But you need to promise me something. Anything. If you wake up 6 months from now and realize you don't need me anymore, that the grief has faded and I'm just a reminder of a painful time, you tell me. Honestly. You don't let me keep cooking and hoping and building a life around people who don't actually want me permanently. Can you promise me that? I promise. But Sophia, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, I'm still going to need you. Want you. This isn't temporary. I don't know what it is yet, but I know it's not temporary. He kissed me then, soft, questioning, full of grief and hope and the beginning of something neither of us quite understood. I kissed him back because I was already too invested to pull away, already too attached to this family to leave. Your mother would have opinions about this, I murmured against his lips. About us kissing in her kitchen. Mama would be delighted. She told me to take care of you, not to let you get away. I'm just following her final instructions. Very dutiful son. The most dutiful. He kissed me again, deeper this time. Stay for dinner next Sunday. Not just to cook. Stay and eat with us. As family. Okay. I'll stay. Month 4, traditions evolving, 4 months of Sunday dinners, and the tradition had evolved. The family came every week without fail. The empty chair for Rosa had been quietly filled. The grief was still present but softer, more manageable, and Luca and I had become something. Not quite dating, we never went on traditional dates. But not just professional either. We cooked together, we talked for hours after everyone left, we kissed in his mother's kitchen like teenagers. It was unconventional, undefined, and somehow perfect. Sophia, I need to tell you something, Luca said one evening after Sunday dinner, after everyone else had left. About my work. My real work. You mean the family business your mother mentioned? Yes. I've been careful not to bring it around you, not to expose you to that side of my life. But if this is going to continue, you need to know what you're getting into. I already know, Luca. Or I've guessed enough. Your family has history in organized crime. You run operations that exist in gray areas. You have associates who look dangerous and probably are. I'm not naive. But knowing in theory and seeing in practice are different. Sophia, I handle things for my family. Disputes, negotiations, problems that need solving. Sometimes that involves violence. Sometimes that means making decisions that good people wouldn't understand. I'm trying to move us toward legitimate business, but the old ways die hard. Can you live with that? With knowing what I am, what I do? Can you live with me knowing? Does it change how you see me, the chef who feeds people, becoming someone who's aware of how you hurt people? No. Because you feeding people and me protecting them, those are two sides of the same coin. We both take care of family. Just in very different ways. He took my hands. But I need to know you can handle it. Handle me. 'Cause Sophia, I'm falling for you. Hard. And if you can't accept all of me, the good and the dangerous, then we need to stop this now before we're both too deep. I can handle it. I grew up in Chinatown, Luca. My parents' restaurant paid protection money to people like you. I've seen how that world works. It doesn't scare me as much as you think it should. It should scare you. Because being with me means you're part of my world, which means you're potentially a target, potentially in danger, potentially having to make compromises you never expected to make. Then we'll handle it together. Luca, I'm already too deep. For months of cooking for your family, of being in this house, of falling for you, I'm invested. The danger doesn't change that. Complications don't change that. I'm staying. You're staying. He pulled me close. Even knowing what you know? Especially knowing what I know. 'Cause I know you're more than just the dangerous parts. I know you're a devoted son who honored his mother's final wishes. I know you're a brother who brings his family together every week. I know you're a man who's trying to build something better while managing the weight of family legacy. That's who I'm falling for. All of it. I love you. He said it simply, without preamble or preparation. I'm in love with you, Sophia Chin. Have been for weeks. Maybe months. I love how you cook, how you nurture, how you understand that feeding people is a form of devotion. I love how you brought my family back together. I love how you honor my mother by continuing her traditions. I love, his voice broke. I love everything about you. And I'm terrified of losing you. You're not losing me. I love you too. I'm in love with you too. This crazy, unconventional, food-centered relationship we've built, I love it. I love you. I'm not going anywhere. We kissed in his mother's kitchen, surrounded by the smell of Sunday dinner and the warmth of family traditions, and it felt right. Like Rosa was watching, approving, blessing this unlikely love that started with arancini and evolved into something permanent. Move in with me, Lucas said suddenly. Officially. Not just cooking and leaving. Move in. Share this house, this life, this family. Be with me completely. That's fast. My mother died in my arms 4 months ago. Life is short, Sophia. Too short to waste time when you find something real. And this is real. So move in. Let me take care of you the way you've taken care of all of us. Okay. Yes. I'll move in. Just like that. Just like that. Because you're right. Life is short. And I don't want to waste another day not being exactly where I want to be. Which is here. With you. With this family. Building something permanent. We spent that night planning our future, where my things would go, how we'd manage my catering business alongside Sunday dinners, what our life together would look like. It was practical and romantic and perfect, and in the morning when I woke in Luca's bed in his arms in the house where I'd cooked for his dying mother, I knew I was finally home, not just physically, but emotionally. Completely, this was where I belonged, with Luca, with his family, with the traditions I'd helped preserve forever. 8 months since Rose's death, and Sunday dinners had become something bigger than just family meals. Word had spread about the chef who made authentic Italian food, about the Moretti family gatherings, about the tradition that honored a beloved matriarch. Sophia, we need to talk business, Lucas said one morning over coffee. We'd fallen into comfortable domestic routines, him reading the paper, me planning menus, both of us existing in peaceful coexistence that felt like we'd been together for years instead of months. What kind of business? The family wants to expand Sunday dinners. Not just immediate family anymore, extended family, close associates, important connections. We're talking 40, 50 people some weeks. That's beyond what you can handle alone in a home kitchen. We need to think bigger. Bigger how? I want to open a restaurant. A real one. Traditional Italian, focused on family-style meals, private dining rooms for gatherings. You'd be the chef and part owner. We'd build it together. Your vision for food, my business management, our combined commitment to hospitality and tradition. What do you think? I think you're crazy. I run a small catering business, Luca. I've never managed a full restaurant. But you want to. I see it in your face every Sunday when the kitchen gets too crowded, when you're scrambling to feed everyone properly. You want space, staff, the ability to create on a larger scale. Let me give you that. Let us build it together. He slid architectural drawings across the table, a beautiful space, open kitchen where guests could watch the cooking, family-style tables, private rooms for intimate gatherings. It was perfect. Exactly what I would have designed if I'd dared to dream that big. This is too much. The investment, the risk, is worth it. Sophia, I have resources. Legitimate resources now, the real estate holdings, the construction companies, the import businesses. I'm moving the family toward legal operations, and a restaurant is the perfect front. Completely legitimate, socially acceptable, profitable. And it honors Mama's memory. She'd love knowing we built something around her passion for feeding people. Roses. I tested the name. We could call it Roses. In her honor. Roses. He smiled. She'd love that. She'd also probably haunt us if we didn't get the recipes exactly right. Then we better get them perfect. I looked at the drawings again, seeing possibility, seeing future. Okay. Let's do it. Let's build Roses. But Luca, I need control of the kitchen. Full control. Menu, staff, standards, everything food related. Can you give me that? Kitchen is yours. I'll handle business side, finances, permits, staffing for front of house. You make it delicious, I'll make it profitable. Deal? Deal. We spent the next months building Roses, renovating a beautiful space in a good neighborhood, hiring staff who understood that food was more than just business, perfecting recipes that honored Rose's memory. It was exhausting, exciting, and brought Luca and me even closer. You're micromanaging again, he'd say when I'd check the pasta for the 10th time. You're under-seasoning again, I'd counter. Italians aren't afraid of salt, Luca. I'm Italian. You're Italian who's forgotten how to cook because you've had people doing it for you. Watch and learn. We'd banter like that for hours, testing dishes, refining techniques, building not just a restaurant but a partnership that worked in every way that mattered. Month 11 grand opening. Roses opened on a Sunday naturally. The entire family came, plus extended family, associates, friends. The dining room was packed, the kitchen was controlled chaos, and I'd never been happier. Order up. Table 7, carbonara amatriciana tu cacio e pepe. I called out, my line cooks moving with practiced efficiency. Chef, table 4 is asking if you can come out. They want to compliment the arancini. My sous chef looked stressed. Tell them I'll come out after service. Right now, we have 50 more orders to get out. I plated another dish with care. Excellence first, accolades later. Luca appeared in the kitchen doorway, looking proud. Sophia, you need to take a break. Come see what you've built. I'm in the middle of service, 5 minutes. Trust me. He practically dragged me out to the dining room. The restaurant was beautiful. Warm lighting, families laughing, the sound of conversation and clinking glasses in life. This was what Rosa had wanted. People gathered around food, connected through meals, building memories one bite at a time. You did this, Luca murmured in my ear. You built this. Mama's dream, brought to life through your talent and vision. We built this. Together. I leaned against him. I couldn't have done it without you. Without your family. Without Rosa teaching me in those final weeks. This is all of us, past and present, memory and hope, tradition and innovation. Table 12 wants to meet you, Marco appeared, grinning. It's the food critic from the Tribune. She's raving about the pasta alla norma, says it's the most authentic she's had outside of Sicily. Critic is here? Tonight? Opening night. I looked at Luca. Why didn't you tell me? 'Cause you would have stressed and second-guessed everything. This way, she got the real experience. Authentic food, family atmosphere, no pretense. And Sophia, she loved it. We're going to get a great review. We don't know that, I know that. Because your food is extraordinary. 'Cause you cook with love and skill and respect for tradition. Because, he pulled me closer. Because everything you touch becomes better. This restaurant, this family, me. You make everything better just by being part of it. Sweet talker. Get back to managing the front of house. I have a kitchen to run. Yes, chef. He kissed me quickly before disappearing back into the dining room. I returned to the kitchen energized. This was it, the culmination of Rose's teachings, of Luca's support, of months of hard work and hope in building something meaningful. We were feeding people, bringing families together, honoring tradition while creating new memories. Service lasted until midnight. When the last guest left and the staff had cleaned up and gone home, Luca and I sat in the empty dining room with a bottle of wine and plates of food we hadn't had time to eat earlier. "We did it," I said, exhausted but exhilarated. Opening night. Survived. Maybe even succeeded. Definitely succeeded. Did you see how happy people were? Families lingering over meals, multiple courses, nobody rushing. That's what Mama wanted, people taking time to enjoy food and each other. She'd be proud. Of the restaurant, of the family still gathering every Sunday, I paused. Of us. Of what we built from her final wishes. She is proud. I feel it. He refilled our wine glasses. "Sophia, I need to ask you something. Something I've been thinking about for months but waiting for the right moment." "What is it?" He pulled out a small box and my heart stopped. "I know this is unconventional. I know we did everything backwards. I hired you to cook for my dying mother, you moved in with me, we opened a restaurant together, we built a life before we even officially dated. But Sophia Chen, I don't want conventional. I want you. I want this. I want forever with the woman who gave my mother joy at the end, who brought my family back together, who made me remember how to live and love and hope. Will you marry me?" The ring was beautiful, elegant, simple, exactly what I would have chosen. But more than the ring, I saw Luca, the man who'd been devastated by loss and had somehow found love again through the process of grief. The man who'd honored his mother by letting me into their lives. The man who'd built a restaurant as a monument to family and tradition, and the woman who'd taught him that feeding people was a form of devotion. Yes. Absolutely, completely yes. I'll marry you. He slid the ring onto my finger, and we kissed in the empty restaurant, surrounded by the smell of good food and the warmth of realized dreams. "Mama would have opinions about the wedding," Luca said. "Probably very specific opinions about the menu. Good thing I know all her favorite recipes. We'll honor her through the food, through the gathering, through continuing her tradition of feeding people we love." Speaking of feeding people, he gestured to our plates. "Should we eat? I'm starving and you've been too busy cooking to actually consume anything for the past 8 hours. We ate together in the quiet restaurant, sharing food and wine and plans for the future. The wedding would be in 6 months, big Italian affair with hundreds of guests. The restaurant would continue growing, maybe expand to include Sunday brunches and cooking classes. My catering business would merge with Rosa's, everything under one brand, one vision, one commitment to excellence. "What do you think happens after?" I asked. "After the wedding, after the restaurant is established, after we've built everything we set out to build? What's next? Family. Children, maybe, if you want them. Teaching the next generation Rosa's recipes, her values, her understanding that food is love and gathering is sacred. Building a legacy that goes beyond just us." He took my hand. "But Sophia, even if we just keep doing this, running the restaurant, feeding people, being together, that's enough. You're enough. This life we've built is enough. It's more than enough. It's everything I never knew I wanted until I found it." I looked around the restaurant, our restaurant built on grief and love and Rosa's final wishes. I came here to cook for a dying woman. I found a family. I found love. I found home. How did I get this lucky? We both got lucky. Mama knew what she was doing, bringing you into our lives. She saw something in you that I was too grief-blind to see at first, that you were exactly what we needed. Someone to nurture us, feed us, remind us that life continues even after loss. You gave us that gift, Sophia. Now let me spend the rest of my life giving you gifts in return. You already have. This restaurant, this ring, this family, these are gifts beyond anything I imagined. You've given me everything, Luca. The only thing left is forever. Then forever it is. You and me, Rose's memory, this family we've built and will continue building. Forever. We finished our meal in comfortable silence, two people who'd found each other through the most unlikely circumstances and built something real. Tomorrow the restaurant would open again and we'd feed more people, create more memories, continue Rose's legacy of love expressed through food, but tonight we had this quiet moment in our restaurant, engaged and in love and planning a future that honored the past while embracing possibility. It was perfect that we were perfect, and Rosa, wherever she was undoubtedly smiling, her final wish, bringing her son and the chef together, ensuring family traditions continued, making sure love grew from the ashes of grief, had come true in ways even she probably hadn't imagined, through food, through family, through love, exactly as she'd planned. Planning a wedding while running a restaurant proved to be more complicated than I'd anticipated. Every decision required balancing tradition with practicality, honoring Rose's memory while creating our own moment. Sophia, we need to finalize the menu, Lucas said, spreading caterer proposals across our kitchen table at home. The wedding is in 2 months. We can't keep putting this off. I'm not using a caterer. I'm cooking it myself. You're not cooking your own wedding. That's insane. Your mother cooked for family weddings. It's tradition. And Rosa's has the staff and kitchen to handle it. My team knows the recipes, knows the standards. We'll make it work. Sophia, you should be a bride at your wedding, not a chef. I'm always a chef. That doesn't turn off just because I'm wearing a white dress. I pulled out my notebook, already filled with menu ideas. Traditional Italian wedding feast. Antipasti, primo, secondo, contorni, dolce. Multiple courses, family-style service, Rose's recipes. It's what she would have wanted. She would have wanted you to enjoy your day, not stress in a kitchen. Cooking doesn't stress me. Grounds me. And Luca, this is how I show love, through food. Our wedding guests will eat meals I prepared with my own hands. That matters to me. He was quiet for a moment, then smiled. You're as stubborn as she was. Fine. You cook the wedding. But you're hiring extra staff and you're not allowed in the kitchen the morning of. Deal? Deal. Now about the ceremony. My brothers want to walk you down the aisle. He said it carefully. Since you don't have family, they want to officially welcome you into ours by giving you away. All 3 of them. Is that okay? I felt tears prick my eyes. That's more than okay. My voice broke. That's perfect. Tell them yes. And thank them for me. They love you. You brought their mother joy at the end, you brought our family back together, you make me happy. That's everything to them. He pulled me close. Sophia, I need to tell you something. About wedding security. Security? I've made enemies in my line of work. Most are managed, but weddings, big public events with the whole family present, they're potential targets. I'm hiring additional security, screening the guest list carefully, implementing protocols. I need you to be aware and alert. Can you handle that? You mean, can I handle marrying someone whose wedding requires tactical security planning? I've had 8 months to get used to your world, Luca. I'm not naive anymore. I know. But I need you to understand, there's always risk. Always the possibility that someone will try something. I'm doing everything possible to prevent that, but life is unpredictable, especially in your world. I understand. We'll be careful, we'll trust your security, and we'll get married surrounded by people who love us. That's all we can do. You're incredible. You know that? Most women would run from this life. You just accept it and adapt. Most women didn't grow up in Chinatown where business and danger mixed regularly. I know how to navigate complicated worlds, Luca. Your world just has better food and more attractive men. He laughed, pulling me into a kiss. Better food because of you. And I'm the only attractive man you're allowed to notice. Jealous mob boss. How predictable. Devoted fiancé. Get it right? We spent the evening finalizing wedding details, guest list, seating arrangements, music, flowers. Every decision felt significant, like we were building not just a ceremony but a foundation for our future. Week before wedding crisis. Sophia, we have a problem. Marco burst into Rosa's kitchen where I was testing wedding menu items. It's about the Russo family. Victor Russo, the name sent ice through my veins. Luca had mentioned them before, old rivals, ongoing tensions, potential threats. What about them? They're demanding an invitation to the wedding, claiming it's an insult not to include them, that it shows disrespect. Victor's making noise about causing problems if he's excluded. So invite him. One more guest isn't. Sophia, you don't understand. Russo at the wedding means we're essentially inviting an enemy into our most vulnerable moment. But refusing him means potential violence, potential retaliation. Luca's trying to decide which risk is worse. I found Luca in his office, staring at his phone with an expression I'd learned to recognize, weighing options, calculating risks, making the kind of decisions that kept his family safe. Marco told me. About Russo. I'm handling it. We're handling it. This is our wedding, Luca. Our decision. So talk to me. What are our options? He sighed, pulling me onto his lap. Option 1. Invite Russo, put him at a table far from family, surround him with security, hope he's just posturing and won't actually cause trouble. Option 2. Refuse the invitation, increase security for other reasons, deal with the fallout later. Option 3. Postpone the wedding until the situation is resolved. We're not postponing. I've waited long enough to marry you, and I'm not letting Victor Russo delay it further. I thought for a moment. Invite him? But Luca, let me help manage it. How? Food. Hospitality. Traditional Italian respect through hosting. I'll personally deliver his meal, show him we're honoring his presence, demonstrate that we're not afraid of him. Sometimes the best way to diffuse tension is to acknowledge it directly with grace. That's either brilliant or incredibly naive. It's what your mother would have done. Rosa believed in the power of food and hospitality to bridge divides. Let me try her way before we resort to your way. My way involves security and controlled violence if necessary. I know. Keep that as backup. But let me try hospitality first. He agreed reluctantly, and I spent the next days preparing something special, a traditional Sicilian dish that required skill and respect to make properly. If Russo was going to be at our wedding, he'd receive the full treatment, the kind of hosting that demonstrated we understood the old ways, the traditions that mattered. Wedding day, the morning of my wedding, I woke in Luca's arms in the house we'd shared for nearly a year. Technically, I shouldn't have been there. Tradition dictated we spend the night before apart. But we'd never been traditional, and I needed this moment of quiet before the chaos. Good morning, Mrs. Moretti-to-be. His voice was rough with sleep. Having second thoughts? About marrying you? Never. About cooking my own wedding feast? Maybe slightly. There's still time to hire caterers. There's absolutely no time, and you know it. Prep is done, the staff is ready, and in 6 hours we're getting married. No backing out now. Kissed him softly. I love you. Even with your dangerous world and complicated family and wedding crashers who require special hospitality. I love you too. For accepting all of that. For making it easier. For being the kind of woman who responds to threats with exceptional cooking. It's my superpower. Diffusing tension through food. The ceremony was outside in a garden venue, decorated with flowers Rosa had loved. The entire Moretti family was there, plus extended family, close associates, friends. And yes, Victor Russo, seated strategically where he could be watched but also honored as a guest. Marco, Angelo, and Stefano, Luca's 3 brothers, walked me down the aisle together, each holding one of my arms. It felt right, being given away by the family that had adopted me through food and grief and Sunday dinners. Luca waited at the altar in a perfect black tuxedo, his tattoos visible at his wrists and neck, looking like exactly what he was, a dangerous man made soft by love. When he saw me, his composure cracked, tears streaming down his face. "You're beautiful," he mouthed. "You're crying," I mouthed back. The ceremony was traditional Italian Catholic, conducted by a priest who'd known Rosa and blessed our union in her memory. When we exchanged vows, I added my own. "Luca, I came into your life to cook for your dying mother. I stayed because I fell in love with your family, your traditions, and you. You've given me the home I've been searching for my entire life. I promise to feed you, nurture you, and love you for all the days we have left. Through Sunday dinners and restaurant service and whatever comes next. You're my family now. Forever. Sophia, you gave my mother joy at the end. You brought my family back together. You made me believe in love again after I'd given up on it. I promise to protect you, cherish you, and make sure you always have a kitchen to create in and a family to feed. You're my heart, my home, my everything. Forever." We kissed as husband and wife, and the crowd erupted in cheers. This was it, the chef and the mob boss, the unlikely love story that started with arancini and ended with forever. The reception was everything I'd envisioned. Courses upon courses of traditional Italian food, all prepared by my team at Rosa's, all recipes Rosa had taught me. A pasty of cured meats and cheeses, marinated vegetables, crusty bread. Primo of multiple pasta dishes, carbonara amatriciana, cacio e pepe alla norma. Condo of braised meats and roasted fish. Contorni of vegetables prepared simply but perfectly. And dolce, cannoli, tiramisu, panna cotta, everything sweet and celebratory that I personally delivered Victor Russo's meal, a special preparation of pasta con lissard, a complex Sicilian dish that demonstrated both skill and respect. "Mrs. Moretti." Russo stood as I approached, his bodyguards tense. "You honor me by serving me yourself. You honor us by attending. This dish is traditional Sicilian: sardines, wild fennel, pine nuts, raisins. My mother-in-law's recipe. I hope it brings you good memories of home." He tasted it carefully, and I saw his expression shift: surprise, approval, maybe even respect. "This is exceptional. Authentic." "You learned from Rosa?" "In her final weeks. She taught me that food bridges divides, that hospitality matters, that breaking bread together is sacred. Thank you for sharing this meal with us, Don Russo. Your presence is appreciated. Your mother-in-law was a wise woman. You honor her memory well." He raised his glass. "To the bride and groom, may your marriage be long and prosperous. And Sophia," he met my eyes, "you have my respect. Anyone who cooks this well and serves it with such grace has nothing to fear from me. Consider this a wedding gift, peace between our families." I returned to Luca, who'd watched the entire interaction with barely controlled tension. "Did that just happen? Did you just negotiate peace through pasta?" "Your mother taught me well. Food is love, hospitality is respect, and sometimes the best way to handle an enemy is to feed them exceptionally well. You're incredible. And slightly terrifying. And I'm so glad you're mine." We danced, we ate, we celebrated surrounded by family and friends. Marco gave a toast about how I'd saved their family through Sunday dinners. Angelo told embarrassing stories about Luca. Stefano thanked me for making his brother happy again, and at the end of the night, when the last guest had left and we were alone in the venue surrounded by the remnants of the feast, Luca pulled me close. "We did it. We're married. We survived wedding planning, security threats, and your insistence on cooking your own reception. And we started our forever. Not bad for a day's work." I looked around at the empty tables, the scattered flowers, the evidence of celebration. Rosa would have loved this. The food, the family, the joy. This is what she wanted: her son happy, her family united, traditions continuing. She's here. I feel her. Smiling at us, proud of what we've built. Kissed me softly. "Thank you, Sophia Moretti. For everything. For seeing past my grief to possibility. For loving my family. for being brave enough to marry into this complicated world. Thank you. Thank you for letting me in, for trusting me with your mother's recipes and your family's traditions, for building roses with me, for giving me the home I'd always wanted. Ready to start our married life? I've been ready since the day I made your mother smile with arancini. Let's go home, husband. Let's go home, wife. We left together, married and in love and ready for whatever came next because we had each other. We had family. We had Rose's memory blessing us, and we had forever. 2 years of marriage, and life had settled into something beautifully ordinary despite the extraordinary circumstances of how we'd begun. Rose's restaurant had become a city institution, the place where families gathered for Sunday dinners, where proposals happened over pasta, where tradition met innovation. We'd won awards, earned rave reviews, and more importantly, created a space where people felt welcomed, nourished, loved. Sophia, table 8 wants to meet you, my sous chef called from the kitchen door. Says their grandmother used to make pasta like yours, wants to know if you'd share the recipe. Tell them I'll be out in 5 minutes. After I finished this risotto, I stirred carefully, tasting, adjusting. Even after hundreds of services, I never stopped refining, never stopped trying to honor Rose's memory by getting it exactly right. The couple at table 8 was elderly, celebrating their 50th anniversary. The woman had tears in her eyes. Your pasta alla norma, she said in accented English. It tastes exactly like my mother made in Sicily. How did you learn? From Rosa Moretti. She taught me in her final weeks. Said recipes were meant to be shared, that food was how we kept our ancestors alive. Your mother and Rosa would have understood each other, I think. Rosa Moretti. The woman's eyes widened. I knew Rosa. We came here together in the 50s, young brides married to men in the same business. I didn't know she'd died. I should have. She stopped, overcome. She'd be glad you're here now. Glad her recipes are bringing you joy, bringing back memories. That's what she wanted, for food to connect people across time and distance. I squeezed her hand. Your meal tonight is on me. In Rose's honor. And if you'd like to come back on Sunday, we have family dinners where everyone's welcome. Rosa started that tradition. We're just continuing it. I'll come. Thank you, dear, for keeping her memory alive. I returned to the kitchen feeling the weight and gift of what we'd built. This restaurant was more than just a business. It was a living memorial, a way of ensuring Rosa's spirit continued touching lives through food. You're crying again, Luca observed, appearing in the kitchen doorway. He did this often, checking in during service, making sure I was okay, connecting between his world of business and my world of cooking. Happy tears. Someone who knew your mother. She remembered her, loved the food, recognized the tradition. This is working, Luca. What we built, it's exactly what Rosa wanted. She'd be proud. Of you, of us, of all of it. He moved closer, one hand resting on my slightly swollen belly. And she'd be over the moon about this. Her first grandchild, continuing the family line. You told your brothers yet? Waiting until Sunday dinner. Want to announce it to everyone at once, the traditional way. With family gathered around Rosa's table, eating her food, continuing her legacy. Kissed my temple. Are you nervous? About being a mother? Terrified. But also excited. This baby will grow up surrounded by family, surrounded by food and love and tradition. They'll know their grandmother through stories and recipes. They'll learn that feeding people is a form of devotion. They'll be part of something bigger than themselves. They'll be lucky. Like I'm lucky. Like we're all lucky that you answered that request to cook for a dying woman and stayed long enough to become family. Sunday dinner. The announcement the dining room at Rosa's was full, all 3 brothers with their families, extended cousins, close family friends. Sunday dinners had grown from the intimate gatherings we'd started with to something larger, more inclusive, more representative of how family expanded when you built it on love rather than just blood. I'd spend all day cooking with my team, all Rosa's favorites prepared exactly as she taught me. The table was laden with food, wine flowing, children laughing, the kind of beautiful chaos Rosa had loved. Before we eat, Lucas stood, raising his glass. Sophia and I have an announcement. The room quieted, everyone looking at us expectantly. 2 years ago, we got married, built this restaurant, continued Mama's tradition of Sunday dinners. And now, he looked at me smiling. Now we're expanding the family. Sophia's pregnant, due in 6 months. Mama's first grandchild. The room erupted, cheers, tears, everyone talking at once. The brothers surrounded us, Marco lifting me carefully off the ground in a hug. A baby. Mama would have been thrilled. What are you hoping for? Boy or girl? Have you thought about names? When can we start spoiling this kid? Everyone, sit, eat. I called over the noise. The baby isn't going anywhere, but this pasta will get cold. First, celebrate second. Rosa would insist. We ate family style, passing platters, telling stories, the baby becoming part of the narrative before they were even born. This was what family did. Absorbed new members, wove them into the tradition, made room at the table. What are you naming the baby? Maria asked, Rosa's old housekeeper who'd become surrogate grandmother to all of us. If it's a girl, will you consider Rosa? We're considering it, I said carefully. But Maria, we also want to honor my grandmother. The one who taught me to cook, who gave me the foundation that led me here. Maybe Rosa as a middle name, something from my family as the first name. Blend both traditions. Your grandmother would like that. Rosa would too. She always said family was about blending, not replacing. Maria's eyes filled with tears. She'd be so happy. Seeing you two together, seeing this baby coming, seeing her traditions alive and thriving. So happy. After dinner, after everyone had left and we were cleaning up, Luca pulled me aside. I have something for you. From Mama. She left it with her lawyer with instructions to give it to you when we were expecting our first child. He handed me an envelope, Rosa's handwriting on the outside. For Sophia, when the baby comes, inside was a letter and a small recipe card. Dearest Sophia, if you're reading this, it means my son finally got his act together and married you. About time, Luca, and now you're expecting my first grandchild. I couldn't be happier. Well, I could be alive, but since that's not an option, I'll settle for being happy from wherever I am now. I knew from the moment you made me arancini that you were special. Not just because you could cook, though that helped, but because you saw me. Not the dying woman, not the cancer patient, not the matriarch everyone was losing. You saw Rosa, the girl from Sicily who loved food, who fed people as a form of love, who believed traditions mattered. You gave me joy at the end, Sophia. You made my final weeks happy instead of just sad. You listened to my stories, learned my recipes, promised to keep my family together. And you kept that promise. The Sunday dinners, the restaurant, marrying my stubborn son, you did everything I asked and more. This baby you're carrying is the future. My blood, your heart, Luca's strength. They'll grow up in a world where food is love, where family gathers, where traditions are honored but also adapted. Teach them to cook. Teach them that feeding people is sacred. Teach them about me, but also about your grandmother, about all the women who came before and passed down knowledge through recipes. The recipe card is for my mother's lullaby cookies, biscotti we'd make when children couldn't sleep. Made with anise and almonds, meant to be dipped in warm milk before bed. Make them for your baby. Sing to them while you bake. Keep the tradition alive. I love you, Sophia. You're the daughter I never had, the chef I wish I'd been, the woman my son needed even when he didn't know it. Take care of him. Take care of my family. Take care of yourself, and most of all, keep cooking. Keep feeding people. Keep showing the world that food is more than sustenance. It's love, memory, connection, everything that makes us human. With all my love, Rosa Pete. If it's a girl and you don't name her Rosa, I'll haunt you. Just kidding. Mostly I was sobbing by the end and Luca was holding me, crying too. She knew, I managed. She knew we'd end up here. Together, married, having a baby, continuing her legacy. She knew. She always knew. Mama had a way of seeing the future, of understanding what people needed before they knew themselves. She saw you were meant to be here, meant to be family, meant to continue what she started. I miss her. Every day I miss her. Wish she could meet this baby, teach them to cook, tell them stories. She'll meet them. Through you, through the recipes, through the traditions we maintain. Every Sunday dinner, every dish you make, every story you tell, she's there. She's always there. We stood in the quiet restaurant holding each other, Rose's letter between us, the baby growing inside me, the future stretching out full of possibility. 6 months later, the birth Rosa Maria Moretti was born on a Sunday morning naturally. Pounds, dark hair, perfect in every way. And from the moment she was placed in my arms, I understood what Rosa had been trying to teach me. That love multiplies instead of dividing, that family expands instead of replacing, that traditions continue through the next generation. She looks like Mama, Luca whispered, touching our daughter's tiny hand. Same nose, same chin. She's beautiful. She's ours. And Rosa's. And everyone who came before. I kissed her forehead. Welcome to the family, little one. You're going to grow up surrounded by so much love and so much food. Your nana would have spoiled you rotten. The hospital room filled with family within hours, brothers, wives, children, Maria, close friends. Everyone wanting to meet Rosa's namesake, to welcome the newest Moretti, to continue the tradition of family gathering for important moments. What are we making for her first Sunday dinner? Marco asked, holding his new niece carefully. Because this kid's going to need to know good food from the start. Mama's arancini, Luca said firmly. That's what started everything. Sophia making arancini for Mama, Mama finding joy in them, all of us realizing Sophia was special. It's only right that our daughter's first real food is arancini. She can't eat solid food for months, you know that, right? I laughed. Then we'll wait. But her first solid food will be arancini. I'm putting it in writing. Epilogue 5 years later. Mama, I want to help cook Sunday dinner. 5-year-old Rosa tugged at my apron, bouncing with excitement. She had her father's dark eyes and her grandmother's stubborn determination. "Okay, Piccolina. You can help make the arancini. But you have to listen carefully and follow instructions. Cooking is serious business. Like Nonna Rosa taught you. Exactly like Nonna Rosa taught me." I lifted her onto a stool at the counter. "Now, first we take the rice," Luca watched from the doorway, and I saw him wipe his eyes. This was everything his mother had wanted, her granddaughter learning to cook, traditions passing down, family continuing through food and love and Sunday dinners. "She would have loved this," he said quietly. "She does love this. She's here, watching, making sure we get it right." I shaped a rice ball, Rosa's small hands helping mine. Every time we cook, every time we gather, every time we teach the next generation, she's here. Little Rosa looked up at me seriously. "Mama, do you think Nonna Rosa would be proud of my arancini?" "I think Nonna Rosa is very proud of you. Of all of us. We kept her promise, we kept cooking, kept gathering, kept feeding people with love. That's the best tribute we could give her. I love cooking with you, Mama. I love cooking with you too, baby. Now let's finish these arancini. Uncle Marco's family is coming over and you know how much he eats." We cooked together, 3 generations of love expressed through food. Rosa's memory, my hands, my daughter's future. The restaurant thrived, Sunday dinners continued, family expanded, and through it all, food remained what it had always been. Love made edible, memory made tangible, tradition made delicious. I'd come into the Moretti family to cook for a dying woman. I stayed because I found home, and now, watching my